Hi, hello, this is Cast and Risk, and right now you're listening to episode 2 of Koppai Podcast with me, your host, co-host, brother, the lesser of the two, the guy that did none of the research for today, Cast and Risk, but the one who bought the microphone. Yeah. And I'm joined by my brother, the co-host, the guy, the Koppai, Mr. Koppai himself, Zach Risk.
Hey guys.
Oh, and today we have a lot of news. A lot happened in the past week. We're a day late. Zach went off to the Wizard of Oz or Kansas City, one of the two. They're all somewhat related. And I've been in the process of giving you guys a bunch of video content that'll be dropping next week. We'll tease that a little bit later, but either way, sorry. We'll be back every week, but we're here for another week, and a lot of news has dropped. Lots of release dates. There was the Nintendo World not Nintendo World Championship, the Pokemon Championships in Boston. They dropped some stuff about Pokken there. Some other news was covered with that. Mm-hmm. A very disappointing lack of Zelda, Pokemon Z. That's where I got the Zelda.
Or Stadium. This whole Pokken thing is not a substitute for Stadium, and I still want Stadium on. Now it's probably gonna be NX.
Yeah, if ever. But we'll talk about that. We have some Pokemon news to cover later that we can talk about that. But the big thing is this morning, I rolled out of bed at noon and found out that Nintendo just decided to drop a release date bomb, complete with a whole picture and banner that you can print out and put on your wall, everything. And the first thing on it, I believe, is just Super Mario Maker for the 11th of September. Make sure you phrase it that way. At the suggested retail price of $59.99, $60. We already knew that. We knew it was coming on that notorious day. Hoping maybe to change the respect of that day or whatever. But that's coming up soon, coming up quickly. One thing I want to add to that, though, in the past week, as we've been anticipating recording this podcast again, we've also been busy with a series of Let's Plays.
Yeah.
That'll go live. I believe the plan right now is to start the first one on August 31st, and then continue them on for 2 weeks. And we play through Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, both the USA and Japan version, 3, World, Yoshi's Island, the original Mario Brothers, Dr. Mario, and then we finish it off with the new Super Mario Brothers games. And so there's lots of Mario Brothers game Let's Plays coming out leading up to Super Mario Maker on the 11th of September. And so I wanted to do a quick drop of that, a little plug. If you guys enjoy the commentary of Zach and I, and you enjoy our voices and the entertainment of Nintendo that we provide, I think you guys will definitely love that series that'll start next week. And we'll continue on beyond that. We have some Kirby footage recorded. We have some other games that are in the works, some live archive highlights and stuff. And so lots of stuff for you guys to check out there. We're so hyped for that game. There's been lots of... Oh, that's something we can talk about. There's been lots of news dropped with that, unofficial news, but just from the review copies of the game that have gone out.
Yeah.
There's still the embargo on the game, but a lot of people have been able to share little tidbits, little things that we maybe didn't know before, or confirm things that were thought to be in the game before. Mm-hmm. And
like for the longest time, people were bringing up the point about how you had to use a female white hand as your cursor, and there were some people saying, is Nintendo sexist, are they racist? And now it comes out you can change all of that completely. Yeah. And they just
you can be a cat if you want. They're not even racist in the point of like, what race are you? Like, are you a human? Or are you a cat? Yeah, speciest. Yeah, speciest. You can be a cat, and I think you can have different colored paws.
Yeah.
My favorite, I think I'm probably going to use either the Mario hand, like the Mario glove, like the full-on arm, or I'm just going to use a little tiny arm. I don't think I'm ever going to use a hand. I may use the cat paw, but the only thing with that is that it's not as precise. It's a little... kind of looks like a little paw. It's just kind of nubbing across the screen.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm big... And it looks kind of...
Although it's mostly aesthetic anyway. It's not like you're actually...
You don't see it on the gamepad. I think that's only seen on the screen, right?
Right.
Which may be nice for like the live streams and Let's Play videos. Like I could imagine like it being very cute to just watch its little paws go across the screen.
Definitely.
Or I know there's like... another big thing that's been shown off a lot more is the sound effects in the game. That you can put all the sound effects that... are even more than sound. It's more special effects, I believe, where it's the sound, but it also has usually a visual accompaniment. And one of them is also the cat paws. And someone dragged it on an enemy, so whenever they stomped like on like Bowser Jr. or something, like a cat paw would go and hit him. And so it kind of looked like you and a cat were taking down Bowser Jr. together. It was cute.
Yeah.
But basic stuff from all these review copies and their preview coverage is that the game's still awesome. It does kind of highlight a lot of stuff that's missing, because now that you kind of see that this is all there is, you're kind of like, oh, bummer, I wish that, like, as we talked about, slopes are absent. A lot of different themes, like snow themes, are still gone.
Yeah.
There's only, like, one above ground theme. Like, you can't have the World 1 look, but then also have, like, Donut Plains or have the rocky mine area. You can't have, it's just only one above ground look. And so that's all disappointing. It's kind of opening the door for DLC.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think they also may not want to include all that stuff, because if they give us every single tool, then they're going to kind of work themselves out of the job, where it's like, what happens if they want to make a new side-scrolling Mario?
Right, yeah.
And we have all the tools to make everything we want. Like, it's good to leave us wanting for the sake of, it gives them some tools to do stuff that we just will never be able to do, which I don't mind. I think they've given us more than enough. The stuff I've seen, there was a Metroid level that we saw that's been going around online.
Oh yeah, that was brilliant. That
you can only use, like, you had to go around the level and get certain power-ups to unlock certain areas. Really had a cool boss mechanic in that, where you had to stand on the donut.
Yeah, that made me so happy, because that was one of the big things I was bummed out about, was the lack of having to defeat a boss to get to the end. You know, like, you could just, in Super Mario Bros. 1, what you would usually do is just hop over Bowser, go under him when he jumps. You never usually used your fireballs to actually take him out and do it that way. You usually just got past him. And so it seems in Mario Maker, most bosses are the same kind of way, where if you do want to just get around them, you can just go around them. But this Metroid level had them in, like, a box with the donut falling.
And they even used the special effects thing to make the Bowser music start. So, like, you got to feel that this was epic. Yeah. There's also, like, other kind of location-based sound effects, where it's not just a tile, but you can use, like, the heartbeat thing will make a certain area more tense or more ghostly.
Right.
Really things that set the atmosphere more that we haven't seen prior to this week, really.
Yeah.
But go on. Well, just like with the boss fight, I mean...
No,
or is that all you had to say?
That was all I had to say about that. Although I was going to add that it's interesting, we were kind of talking about adding possibly Super Mario Bros. 2 USA stuff to Mario Maker.
Yeah, last week we talked about that.
And I was seeing through the levels of Super Mario Advance 2, or whichever one was Super Mario Bros. 3 on the Game Boy Advance. It's interesting, in the bonus levels of that game, they have all these elements mashed together from like World and Yoshi's Island. Even some elements come into those bonus levels. It's kind of a remix of Super Mario Bros. 3, but you can use, like, your cape. But another interesting thing in that is that you can pull turnips from the ground and toss them at people in that mechanic. And I thought it was interesting. It's like, man, that's weird that in this Super Mario Bros. Advance that they had the Super Mario Bros. 2, throwback and kind of nod to them, but there's nothing in Mario Maker.
Yeah, I think it goes back.
Suggestions, like, I wish they would have used, like, some of the things from this engine on it. It was as more of a kind of remix of all the Mario elements, but.
I wouldn't be surprised too, because then they did have things like NES Remix, where it was like, man, but they're missing this from the NES, or missing this from the NES, and then they pumped out NES Remix too. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's new Super Mario Maker, or Super Mario Maker NX, or Super Mario Maker DLC Pack 1, or even like, I mean, just something to extend the duration of, like, the game and stuff, because we're gonna get to it later, but it seems as though the Wii U is going to be getting some support for a while now, like, even with, like, the whole Pokken thing releasing in 2016. Like, even though it seems like they have clocked out a lot of energy on the Wii U in preparation for the NX, they're not completely done with it. And so Mario Maker, kind of staggered with Splatoon, will probably be getting some DLC. I would hope so anyway. I just can't imagine them being done with it. I mean, because this is, I think, by far the best received Wii U game. And I think just in its whole lifespan. I mean, the amount of hype for Mario Kart 8 was pretty good, but at the end of the day, it's just Mario Kart. Like, once you do those tracks, you're done and stuff. But this is just so infinite, and it's what everyone's dream was. Like, no one had a dream to play Mario Kart in anti-gravity. And if they did, they're weird. No offense to you, but you're a freak. No, I love the anti-gravity. But people, like, the moment they played Super Mario in 1985, And then people like us that played it later on in our life, like everyone played that when they were a kid. That plays games now usually,
right?
And everyone wanted to make one too.
Yeah.
Or like if you like everyone when they were playing games when they're a kid wanted to be a game designer in some way.
Yeah.
And even though we've had games like Little Big Planet and other game creating games or content creating games, just this one's so intuitive with the gamepad.
Like the Facebook hackathon. I don't know if you've been following that.
I did follow that.
Yeah, it kind of just shows how they can go into an environment with all kinds of different backgrounds and just show them Mario, and everybody's like, that's Mario.
Yeah.
And like get into teams, and they instantly start knowing.
Yeah, and there's so many ideas that they have built up over the years. Like I always wanted to make a level where we did this. I always wanted to. And just people. Even the whole IGN challenge that we've talked about, or we talk about that in the Let's Play series a little bit. It's just like even everyone there, like they only had the game for an hour when they did that. Like that was kind of their rule, was they only had the game for 1 hour, and they just made incredible things.
Yeah.
And even with the review copies out, the game hasn't been out that long for even the people that are doing the review, and that whole Metroid level was made in just must have been like a week's time and stuff. People are just, it's so intuitive, and it's just besides the limitations that we've mentioned stuff, it does kind of give you almost unintentional workarounds to some of that too, though, where it's just like, even though you can't do that, you can do this though, and that'll make it work. Like the whole fact that you mentioned there's no boss fight kind of mechanic to make it so you kill boss A, that opens door A, but people have already found workarounds and stuff. So you can basically make through those limitations any game you want. Even with like the no slopes thing, you can make diagonal moving platforms though, and kind of try to find a way to make diagonal platforming and stuff. And so it's just so revolutionary and stuff, which we've been kind of missing from Nintendo for the longest time. Which is, it's kind of ironic that in order to get the revolution, they had to go back to Mario, because they've been trying to kind of push away Mario for the longest time to get that revolution, like with something like Splatoon. Not to say that Splatoon hasn't been well received, but it seems like
at least since the Galaxy games, they've kind of had a slump, because every time they'd come out with a new Mario, they kind of redid something major with it. And it seemed after Galaxy, it was like, are you going to do Galaxy 3, or what are you going to do with Mario now to take him to the next level? And it's just been a while since
and 3D World
attempt.
3D World with the multiplayer aspect of it in a 3D environment was pretty innovative, but that was only innovation if you had someone to play with. And a lot of people play the 3D Mario games solo.
Right. And
they kind of delight in that. And so the fact that they couldn't, that those people couldn't get the revolutionary aspect of the game without playing with someone, and kind of diminish that. And so, this is, Super Mario Maker is going to be revolutionary for someone that plays it by themselves. It's going to be revolutionary for someone that plays it with a friend. It's going to be revolutionary for people that play online or completely offline. Like, no matter what, they're going to have just a blast with it. And like Splatoon, for example, that game I think is kind of a revolutionary product from Nintendo, just kind of culminating their unique art style, music, just their charm, with basically creating the Super Smash Brothers of the shooting genre, where it's just fun, anyone can do it, but there's also an incredible amount of depth. But the big thing with that is, I was at a friend's house this past week, went over there, visited them, and they're kind of debating buying a Wii U, and I showed them off Splatoon, and they didn't have Wi-Fi set up at their house yet in their new apartment. And so it's like, cool, we have to play offline, and we can only do the single player. And he definitely enjoyed it, but it wasn't nearly as fun, because
there's no co-op.
Yeah, there's no. I think that there may be co-op. I know there's the one-on-one battle dojo.
Oh yeah.
But there's very limited local multiplayer. The core of the game, even like the shops you go to buy your gear, don't work offline.
Oh wow.
Like you need internet to get 90% of the game, it seems. And so, or at least a big chunk, 90% may be exaggerating. But it's just even that, though. The revolution was once again limited to multiplayer. Like Super Mario Maker is just so approachable. And so, if they don't support with DLC, but they support Splatoon and Mario Kart and Hyrule Warriors with DLC, I just can't imagine that. So it's just going to be a game that goes on and on and on.
It's interesting. Yeah, I was going to just add one last thing. It's interesting that you and I both kind of grew up with the first Super Mario Bros. Think about growing up with Super Mario Maker and just being like a little kid and being like watching your dad play that and then picking up the gamepad and making your own little level, and that's how you get into video games, is designing your own Mario courses. Like, just think of the
if we because we grew up, we were smart little kids. You and I, we found some ways to do some crazy stuff that I can't even imagine doing now, like hacking into the Pokemon games and writing our own stories and stuff and that. So the kids that are determined enough can do that. And you have games like Minecraft where a lot of kids are able to kind of create their own worlds and stuff. But yeah, it is definitely insane that there's going to be kids that never grow up now wondering what it would be like to make their own Mario level. Like they're going to look at the original Super Mario Bros. And be like, this is some crappy level design. While we look at it and we think this is our template for what we're going to do in Super Mario Maker. Like, there's going to be kids that play that as an afterthought, and they're like, well, I guess they did some cool things here, but you should see my level. Like, and that's just going to be insane. But, I mean, we could change the name of Koppai Podcast to Super Mario Maker Podcast, and we could probably never stop talking. We would have highlights every week of new levels that we saw.
Just every
interesting
franchise
things.
Of Nintendo's. Talk for an hour about each one.
Mario podcast, Zelda podcast,
Pokemon podcast,
Pokecast. That's actually, these are all pretty good ideas. But moving on. Once again, kind of dealing with Mario, Yoshi's Woolly World launches October 16th.
Finally.
Yes, I mean, we've known about that for a long time. Back when it was just Yarn Yoshi.
It's been out forever in Europe too.
It's I kind of honestly didn't realize that it wasn't out yet here. I thought I didn't have the money for it, and then I just found out it's not even out yet, so I just couldn't get it even when I did get the money. But, October 16th, 3 days after my birthday, so...
You gotta make sure that we get these reserved, though, because hopefully they don't run out of Yarn Yoshis.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that the suggested retail price of $49.99, but the game will also be available in a bundle that includes a green Yarn Yoshi amiibo at a suggested retail price of $59.99, so you get the amiibo for $10 more, right? Yeah, $10 more. And then the green Yarn Yoshi is available as part of the bundle, but with the individual pink and light blue Yarn Yoshi amiibo also launching October 16th at the retail price of $17 each, which is weird that you get such a discount on the green one if you get it in the bundle. That's $7 off. That's almost 50% off for the amiibo if you get it in the bundle. And it's also just weird that they're $17.
Makes me think, I wonder how many bundles that they made, and if there's going to be the demand is going to be met with those bundles, or if people are going to have to resort to the $17 once the bundles run out.
Is the green Yoshi available outside the bundle? Do we know that? Or
it looks like, to me, it looks like...
Because you have something like, they've been doing a lot of that crap where it's like, you can only get it if you get the bundles now, like the Retro bundle or the Splatoon bundle.
What I'm seeing here is that green Yarn Yoshi is available as part of the bundle, with individual pink and light blue Yarn Yoshi also launching separate. Okay. So I'm guessing that the Yarn Yoshi, the green one, is only in the box.
Then we definitely have to reserve that.
Might be why it's a little cheaper too. It's just it was.
I don't know if we have this somewhere later here in our paper documents. But there's also, the Mega Yarn Yoshi, while we're on the topic of Yarn Yoshi.
There's a Mega Yarn Yoshi?
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
You wrote all these papers here, and you didn't even find that. A Mega Yarn Yoshi, a giant green Yoshi amiibo made of yarn, goes on sale November 15th at the suggested retail price of $39.99 for the most expensive amiibo yet.
Wow.
I mean, imagine what that's going to be like when it's on eBay after all the
and it comes out right after my birthday, the day after.
Yeah. When tapped to the gamepad controller in Yoshi's Woolly World, Mega Yarn Yoshi activates double Yoshi, so what the normal Yarn Yoshi does. A second Yoshi to use at any point in the middle of the stage, as well as the ability to partners, as the save the player's favorite Yoshi part of the amiibo. The standard Yarn Yoshi does the same thing. But I saw a picture of it. It looks like a big plush toy.
Oh wow!
Like it looks like kind of like a big teddy bear.
Cool.
And I think the amiibo chip is in its foot.
I hope somebody pre-orders that for my birthday and says like, it's coming tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe someone will do that. I actually don't know if I can, so I shouldn't hint at that. But you have a fiance; she loves you,
right?
But I thought I should go ahead and include that in the news because it looks adorable. I mean,
I need the Yarn Yoshis. Even if it's just the small one, that's all I get. I just need a Yarn Yoshi.
I was gonna say the Yarn Yoshi amiibo.
I hope they made supply enough for. I hope they were like, everybody wants a Yarn Yoshi. We have to make enough for everybody.
Yeah, because they have 3 different colors. I mean, they have to have. I don't care what color I get. I just need one of them. I wish they had even more colors.
Plus,
I'd get yellow and purple and black and white.
What's his name? The guy that worked on this game a lot. What's his something?
That was. Yeah, I don't know.
We're sorry. I feel it's pathetic that I can't just say his name, but he's always making them. So I wonder if.
Well, there's Tezuka.
Yeah.
That he did Super Mario Maker, and he I think he worked on Kirby a lot. I know, like, he'd go on Nintendo Treehouse, and, like, while they were doing the Mario Maker coverage, he'd be knitting up a little Yoshi.
Yeah.
And so I think that's who you're thinking of.
So I wonder if he made enough Mario Yoshis for all of us.
Yeah, I hope he made them by hand. I hope he's ready. You can, like, see, like, kind of some blood staining.
Yeah.
If I don't see his blood, I don't want it. But no, the Mega Yarn Yoshi, I mean, probably an amazing teddy bear. Like, I would love to have that, like, on my bed for when I have the lady over. But check out my Yarn Yoshi. But I don't know, $39 or $39.99 for a plush toy. I don't normally get plush toys, but I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that justifies it, but maybe they're gonna make those a little more limited. And I also don't know, why is it launching months later, a month later? Like, that seems kind of
strange.
I wonder if that's just in time for, like, the Christmas time or what. But it seems like almost like an afterthought. Like, they're like, let's make it even bigger. Let's just have the biggest one. I wonder. I mean, I guess I don't think I've actually seen a picture of it to scale. So maybe when they say mega, maybe it is like even more bigger than a teddy bear. Maybe it's like those big.
It's Yoshi size.
Yeah. Actually, I wonder how big it is. We'll have to look that up afterwards and talk about it next week or something. But definitely cool. Super excited. So yeah, Yarn Yoshi, October 16th, 3 days after my birthday. So if someone wants to get me a late birthday present, you can just message me here on YouTube.com or Twitter at KazRisk and just be like, hey man, I want to help you out. I want to bless you with your birthday. Just Yoshi's Woolly World. Yeah, I'll be super grateful. Speaking of October 16th, something else is launching on that. A new combo pack that includes 2 great games goes on sale October 16th. The pack includes both New Super Mario Bros. U and New Super Luigi U, and it'll be available at the suggested retail price of $59.99. So both games in one box. Box is ugly.
Oh, really?
It has, like...
That was one of those, like, split ones or something? Like, when you get a DVD movie and it's, like...
Yeah, something like that. It has the original New Super Mario Bros. U box, but now it's not blue around the edge, it's red around the edge, kind of like the Nintendo Selects, how they always have the red, you know? But the main, like, it was like a Wii U launch game, so a lot of the art design of the cover is made for that blue, and so it looks really clashing with the red. And then to make matters worse, at the bottom, it has just like a little kind of like banner at the bottom that says, also includes New Super Luigi U, and that's green. And then it has like a pink thing where it's just like a little bubble that just says like some other random information that we don't care about. It's just I think it just says like 2 games in one, and I just don't want that.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, be excited about that bundle, but you can probably find both games individually for $60. And the green case looks. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Like, the green case looks so good for New Super Luigi U.
Yeah. Yeah, like, it's perfect. You have to get it. If you're going to get retail New Super Luigi U, then you have to get the green case. If you're not going to go digital.
Yeah, the green case is just... Like, I was kind of worried that it would look kind of yucky on my shelf, where it's like blue, 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 Mario Kart's red, blue, 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 New Super Luigi's U is green. But
I'm surprised. I'm wondering how many... I guess this is probably all for new Wii U owners, but I'm just wondering how many people who own a Wii U don't own New Super Mario Bros. U yet.
Yeah,
I think... Did it not come with most of them, or a lot of them came with 3D World?
Yeah, I don't know how you had a Wii U and you haven't picked that up. I'm not one of those people that jokes about there's no games on the Wii U, but at the same time, there's not a lot. I mean, there's mainly Nintendo games. Yeah. And this was all there was. So, I mean, if you haven't played it yet, especially if you've played New Super Mario Bros. U and you haven't taken the Luigi U plunge yet, we have a Let's Play of that going up in a couple weeks, and it's so much, I think it's so much more fun. I love the original, but Luigi U takes everything that one does, ramps it up. It's it's the best. Adds an extra challenge. I think they upgraded the visuals even a little bit. It's just perfect. Moving on to a game I don't think either of us are super pumped about, and we're sorry. I know there's people that are just dedicated to this game, love it, freaked out when it was announced. I'm sorry, I just don't share that enthusiasm. Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater, co-developed by Koei Tecmo Games, launches exclusively in the Nintendo eShop on Wii U on October 22nd for $49.99, just in time for Halloween. Players can download this free-to-start game and play the prologue, Chapter 1, and most of Chapter 2 for free. So maybe we'll go ahead and do that, try it out, because I don't really understand the hype for it yet, but I'm sure it's amazing, because people do love it passionately. The full version of the game can be purchased as DLC directly from the Nintendo eShop or via the in-game menu. The big thing with this is people have been pumped for Fatal Frame for a while now. I think it was announced quite a bit ago for the Wii U, and the fact that it's just only eShop. There's no physical copy of it. I think at least in the U.S. I think Europe has a complete collector's edition, complete with concept art and everything. But the U.S. doesn't get that, and then with the whole localization thing, you can't import it in. So there's some saltiness about that, but I also saw lots of other comments where it's like, just be happy we're getting it.
Right.
And there's some truth to that. Be happy if you're pumped about the franchise. But
yeah, I can't say that I'm disinterested or interested. I've really no experience or don't really know what it's about or what it is.
The fact that there's passionate fans about it, and the fact that it was kind of a big deal when like Bill Trinen went on stage, or not on stage, but like in the direct and said, "Oh, Fatal Frame's coming." Like I heard that was a pretty big deal, and there's lots of views on that and just lots of spiked interest. The fact that there's just that around it makes me think it's like one of those hidden treasures that just maybe people like us don't play but would love.
Yeah, I'll definitely try out that free to start.
Yeah, and I think that also kind of tells me that they're so confident in it. They're like, you're going to play Chapter 1 and you're going to love it. You're going to want to buy it. And so I'll probably try that out when it comes. Maybe I'll do a live stream of that over on twitch.tv/CasRisk. Speaking of games, that was a good transition. Star Fox Zero for the Nintendo GameCube, the Wii U, launches November 20th at the suggested retail price of $59.99. Now, let's halt for a moment and talk about this game, because we teased it last week. You even set down your paper. You're like, let's go. We teased a little bit last week how we didn't like the visual of this game, or at least we joked about that. And then we're going to talk about it more in the future because it's coming out this year. Wait, I already forgot. November 20th.
There's certain things about the graphics that I really do like. There's certain things that I agree.
Yeah, so let's just pull back all together here.
Okay.
So, Star Fox. You love Star Fox.
Uh-huh.
You love Star Fox 3D.
That's the only one that I've actually played too. I've never played the SNES one, and I never played any of the Adventures or Assault.
Yeah. See, I played a little bit of Star Fox 64, but I've played all through the Dinosaur Adventure Land GameCube one, which apparently wasn't a really big core Star Fox, and so thus I wasn't the biggest fan and haven't really returned to it. So, but I do definitely respect. I love Fox and Melee, and I love Fox and I'm not big.
Fire.
Yes, I love him. I'm not the biggest fan of him in the Wii U Smash and stuff. He's just a little clunkier and stuff. Falco's super slow, but I definitely love the franchise, the merit of it and stuff. I love Star Wars, and it's cool. Animals in space. It's just what the internet's based on.
Yeah.
And so I've always been excited about the idea of a new Star Fox. People clamor for that, and I'm kind of more pushing for Galaxy 3 and all of that. But I was always welcoming to a new Star Fox, and so when they're kind of finally here we go, we're giving you the new Star Fox, we're returning to the roots of it, no more of the other crap, this is going to be Star Fox Zero, literally, you can't even go before Zero, Zero's the start. They had Iwata as the puppet and stuff, that was kind of, the last time we saw Iwata, he was pushing Star Fox, just so beautiful, it's just exciting, and then they show the gameplay. It's like you said, it's not that it's ugly, it's just, we've seen so much better from Nintendo the past couple years. Mario Kart 8 is more beautiful than a lot of PS4 and Xbox One games I've seen. The attention to detail on that.
Also, I think
3D World has some level design and some art styles and stuff that are insane.
Captain Toad kind of enhances those visuals, and then Woolly World looks amazing.
All of the Christmas,
Kirby.
The art style, they've all used the art style to the advantage. The Woolly World, even though the Wii U is inferior as far as graphic capability, they use the art styles to go to advantage. Even Wind Waker, which is literally a GameCube art style and polygons and stuff, they use that to the advantage to make some really dynamic lighting and shade effects that really pop and make you engage.
That's the thing about Star Fox, is I think their lighting has been pretty good on that. I've seen some really cool lighting effects and really cool colors that the Wii U is known for in the sky backdrops that are some vibrant colors. It's mostly in the mountains and it's in the
ground textures and stuff.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It seems almost as if Platinum Games is at sort of a struggle where they want to honor the original art style of the Star Fox that made everyone love Star Fox, which was very polygon based and very just basic because it was on the N64. And it's one of the first times you go back to Mario. The image we know of Mario was designed based on the sprite that we saw of him. And Link was the same way. They didn't design Link and then try to fit a sprite to that. And you can kind of even tell that with the sprites, the amiibo sprites that are in Super Mario Maker, how some of them don't look as charming or they don't look as good because they're trying to fit an art style that's already been established, not just embracing what they would look like as sprites. And so with Nintendo, it was always what the in-game character looked like first, and then what the propaganda looked like. But they kind of had to go reverse with that with Star Fox, because that came out in an era where they could kind of go halfway with both, but not completely. And so there's kind of an impasse where they're trying to appeal to that art style, but then also just make it look good, and that art style like is kind of starting to become dated. And it's interesting though, like even just bringing up Wind Waker, I haven't thought of that, where that literally is a GameCube game, like very polygonal and stuff, but it looked good. And so I'm trying to think, it's not necessarily the polygons of Star Fox that make it look
Wind
bad.
Waker was a bit ahead of its time, I think, just because of the cell shading made it look like.
And that's the thing. That's kind of like where the disadvantage of that is with Star Fox, is that it has that polygonal look, but then on those polygons, they're trying to put realistic textures, which doesn't really fit. Like, it looks kind of like a flat, piece of metal or something, or like a blurry piece of metal, or the grounds are all flat, and kind of, because that's what Corneria looks like. But we're used to, like, grass is supposed to pop out of the ground, and rocks are supposed to be crumbly now.
Like, from the landscape and stuff, I get a very, like, Deer Hunter Simulator kind of game of, like, just, like, the trees all kind of fake. The ground is, like, just some foliage on the ground, and then it's, like, the most detailed things are the animals themselves. And I was pretty impressed with. I think the water they do good with. The water, the ships
or
even
I was gonna say, like the where Platinum Games is at the struggles, because they have that, but then there's also areas where you can tell it's completely original content and a completely original enemy design, where Platinum Games, especially with Bayonetta, has proven themselves more than worthy to design some beautiful set pieces and beautiful enemies. And like there's even a level they showed at Gamescom where you go through and just this muddy N64 looking level with polygons clashing, and like the guy's like, look how cool it is, you can shoot this rock and it falls down, and Damon Hatfield's like, cool, I could do that like on PS3 10 years ago, like this isn't impressive and stuff. But then they get to the boss battle, which is where they ditch the wannabe classic game and just go for a completely new experience with this boss battle that Platinum Games probably designed from just their own studio. And the boss comes out, it's this scrap metal snake, it has these detailed lighting effects, and it's just it looks like scrap metal. I mean, it's beautiful, this worm thing. It's very clever design where you have to shoot into its mouth, but you have to like navigate with the motion controls, which I actually kind of like the motion controls. People think it's a little shoehorned in, but I don't mind it at all.
I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. So
and so I like the idea of it, though. I think it could be pretty appealing and feel pretty natural, especially where Miyamoto, like, those cute little images of him, like, oh, should I get, and he's, like, moving his hands back and forth, like, trying to...
The giant robot.
The giant robot. We'll have to talk about that sometime.
Because that's mostly with the Wii U motion and stuff also, isn't it?
Anyway, though, like, the boss fight, though, was just so beautiful, and, like, this looked so good, but it was also surrounded by some classic looks. I mean, it just seems as if it's trying to be two different games. It's trying to embrace this futuristic, modern graphic style, but also pay homage to the classic look. And we get certain experiences that aren't good. And the bummer part is that this game is designed around going back through levels with new weapon unlocks, new transformation unlocks, and exploring up close and finding collectibles and stuff, and revisiting these worlds more, like, again and again and again. And there's all that talk about, like, the big argument I hear online is that, oh, Nintendo people aren't big about graphics until the graphics are bad, or like they'll like go on PS4 forums and say graphics don't matter, it's gameplay is king. But now that these graphics they suck or something, they're just so hypocritical and go back and forth so many different times.
Right.
And I agree that graphics aren't as important as gameplay, and that you can have a game with very bad graphics and still enjoy it.
That's why I'm still confident in Star Fox Zero that it's going to be a great game.
And I am too. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to live stream it. I'm going to do Let's Plays of it. I'm going to do all that. I mean, I'm going to play it even when the camera's off. I'm going to absolutely love it. But there's a certain point, even now, like especially nowadays, where graphics don't matter. But when they are starting to get kind of bad or dated, they can kill the immersion, which in turn can kind of diminish the gameplay or the enjoyment of the gameplay. And that's kind of the problem I'm running with Star Fox, is it's getting to the point where it's the exploration of the world is like, I don't want to explore this world, and that's part of the gameplay, and so it's diminishing the gameplay, and then thus making the whole overall experience kind of bad. And so I'm optimistic that hopefully they'll kind of improve certain things, bring the game together, maybe polish some things up, especially after the outcry, because I think it's loud how much people don't like the graphics.
And I would definitely think that they're going to go in and polish it up a lot, because thinking back to Star Fox 64 and just the kind of experience they go for with these games, and they're probably going to go back for with Star Fox Zero, is about a 3-hour or so, not very long gameplay experience, maybe 6 hours at the most, to actually get through the whole story, because it's very like you're watching a Star Wars movie or something like that. It's very just an experience.
You can't stop like you can in Mario platformer and like, try to solve a puzzle. It's like you're flying forward and you can't fly backwards, you know.
So what I'm thinking is, what they do is they just get their levels that they have, and they get a very compact, like confident design in these very few levels, and then I think they can just keep tweaking from there on the story of. It's basically, I think it's one of the more movie-esque video game franchises, especially just based off of 64, which is really the only one I've played, but. That one's one that you want to replay over and over again, because it's a quick experience. I mean, it's not super short. It's not like 20 minutes like I can beat Aladdin in or something. It's like 3 hours, 6 hours. You're going to have to maybe take a few breaks, but coming back to it, it's a little bit longer than a movie. It's so enjoyable.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those games also like where you want to go back and get like a high score, or go back and collect all the little rings and stuff. Like, it's going to be a very addictive game in that way.
I almost wish that they would have made at least one more, maybe like with the engine of 64 3D, one more Star Fox 3DS game in the same style, like maybe made Zero just on the 3DS, because that 3D effect on Star Fox, I think, just added so much to the immersion, even if it wasn't the greatest graphics, although they did upgrade the graphics so much in the 3DS version. But still, I just think it's definitely the 3DS. Star Fox 64 3D is definitely lower, I would say, than Star Fox Zero, so...
Yeah, it's just one of the things, like, you've mentioned, like, just the whole 3DS port and stuff, and it's one of those things, like, Super Mario 64 was an N64 game that was revered and stuff. The thing that separates that from Star Fox is Star Fox kind of took a break while Mario games have progressed, and, like, we've been able to see, like, gradually an art style change.
Right.
So they didn't have the task that Platinum Games has of trying to, like, kind of resurrect a 20-year-old game now.
Right.
But it'd be like Mario coming in, like... all the pipes being these octagons that come out of the ground. Like, no, we expect a perfect circle now when a pipe comes out of the ground in a 3D Mario game. And, like, we expect Mario to have fingers, not two rectangles coming out the end of rectangle.
Or the abomination known as Yoshi in
64. Yeah, I mean, or when we talk about, like, Legend of Zelda, like Ocarina of Time, like, we expect Hyrule Field to, as it does in Zelda NX, look like it's flowing with grass. And we don't expect this green... like, just blanket with a fence post in the middle that to kind of break it up. Yeah, they should have almost done
this is Corneria behind me now.
Yeah,
and just shown it, and it's like, what the heck? It's like ships flying in the air.
Like, what's that city in Star Wars where it's just like, you just see like all these skyscrapers and Obi-Wan's jumping on a car and stuff in the background, like, and Boba Fett's just hovering there. Like, they should, I mean, like, and that's the big thing. I think
probably butchered that, but I'm thinking like Tatowan maybe is the name.
Yeah, oh gosh. With all this Star Wars hype going on right now, we're gonna get butchered. Oh no. Oh man, Tatowan. There's a Padawan, which is like your apprentice, and then there's Tatooine.
Oh, that's what it is, probably.
You said Tatowan.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Oh man.
I love Star Wars though. I haven't seen it enough. I've only watched it a couple times and I've watched all of them. So.
Okay. Not moving on, because I just want to say one last thing with this closeout Star Fox Zero is November 20th. As we said, they may need some more time to polish it. November 20th, maybe give them enough time, because that's later on. That's a couple months. A lot can happen in a couple months. But that's also, I think, the same time, same week, maybe even same day, maybe same week as Star Wars Battlefront. Which, mentioning Star Wars and Tatowan, Star Wars Battlefront looks gorgeous. Like, that looks like you're playing a Star Wars movie. And the laser effects and the sound effects, like, I mean, nuts. They've used, like, they went through and scanned the original models of, like, the TIE fighters and all that. Like, that game looks incredible. And it's a space battle game where you can explore these Star Wars planets, and it's going up against Star Fox GameCube 2015. Like,
oh man, that's gonna be a painful holiday fall for me anyway. Just with Mario Maker, with Fallout 4, with Battlefield, with Star Fox, with Yoshi, with
I'm just saying though, I mean, when you go to the store and you see Star Fox or Star Wars, and not only do you see Star Fox and Star Wars, but you see Puppet Fox with Peppy O'Hare that looks like something out of the Muppets, and then you see a Stormtrooper that has dirt and grimy, looks so realistic. I mean, it's not even like...
Well, that's the one thing I didn't really like too much about their project was the cover design of actual Battlefront, because it just seems like it's too bland of a cover.
Oh, really?
The Stormtrooper.
I was just going to say that I like the Stormtrooper.
Yeah. I just think... And I definitely think that the Star Fox Zero cover looks a little awkward, but...
Yeah, it does it looks fake. Right. And the thing I was going to say with that, though, is it's not even like a Pixar charm where I'm comparing Up next to, like, Django or something, like, where it's like, oh, that's apples and oranges. This is a realistic movie, and that's a cartoon movie. Like, it's not even a good cartoon look. Like, it's trying to be like Star Wars in a kind of Clone Wars cartoony way, like Star Fox is, and it's failing, and it's going up against something that does succeed. It's just I'm pumped for the game, but I'm also very nervous just for Nintendo. Like, I'll love it because I love you, Nintendo, and I love Star Fox, but I don't think everyone else is going to jump on board. But we got to move on. We talked about a lot of Star Fox. One game that does, I think, look gorgeous, probably plays gorgeous, is exciting, has been out for a while, Xenoblade Chronicles X, which launches now, we know, in America on, I think, just the West in general, December 4th at the suggested retail price of $59.99. Pumped for that.
Yeah,
but
that's another one that I was going to bring up, that when we first were seeing it, I kind of thought it looked a little washed out.
That's true.
Bland, and then they made so many improvements on it, which also made me kind of think they might make some improvements on Star Fox Zero before it comes out.
Yeah, I'd rather save my money for Xenoblade than get Star Fox.
But yeah, as like, even if they kept the slightly washed out look and it didn't have all the improvements that they put upon it, I still think gameplay-wise and depth-wise, this is definitely a lot better than Star Fox Zero. The
big thing with Xenoblade that I didn't like was just the character models. I think the world always looked pretty good. I was always pretty invested in that. The draw distance was incredible. The enemy detail, but the character models, and it was never like
the ship models. I thought looked a little washed out too. Just when they were showing
the dolls or the skulls or whatever, or like
the ship, like the spaceships when they were showing like their major ship.
Yeah, those looked kind of weird. Looked a little flat, a little plain. Yeah. But like the little mech suits that you get look incredible. I mean, that's just gonna be a fun game.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited. I did a media blackout with that after it came out in Japan. When it came out in Japan, I didn't follow anything after that because I knew it would be so easy to see everything because it's out over in Japan. But I haven't watched that game, any coverage of that in months, and I'm just so excited to kind of experience it fresh.
Yeah.
Because I know it's just gonna have so much depth. Moving on. Devil's Third launches December 11th at the suggested retail price of $59.99. People were pumped for that when it was announced.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, viewers. Even with
another one, just like Fatal Frame, that I never really...
And this one doesn't even have a trial or a demo or anything. It's $60. I'm sorry, I'll probably skip you unless someone comes to my door just wearing a white shirt and black tie, and they said, "Have you heard the good news of the Devil's Third?" In which case I'll probably freak out and be like, "No, I haven't. I don't know if I want to." Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival and the Amiibo figures for Animal Crossing characters: Isabelle, Digby, KK Slider, Reese, Cyrus, Tom Nook, Evil Man, Mabel, and Lottie launch holiday 2015. So not a set date. Another vague title is the Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, which is also holiday 15. So we don't know if these are going to be after December 11th, like Devil's Third, or if they're going to be maybe even like early on or something. I would imagine both of these being like November 20th range. Even I honestly wouldn't be surprised if like Amiibo or
December 20th.
Yeah, like if it was like kind of, they've done that a lot where it's like that December 20th range is like a big drop of like multiple titles all at once. Amiibo Festival, Animal Crossing, I'm kind of excited for actually.
Right.
I don't know too much about it. I didn't really
and it doesn't have a suggested retail price yet either.
So it may be cheaper. I think it's actually, from what I hear, gonna be is it free?
It might be. It might be just the amiibos that you need to.
I thought so, kind of like the Animal Crossing Plaza. I think it's something like that. Mm-hmm. So, but the amiibos, I want that KK Slider amiibo. I need it. I don't know.
Tom Nook would also be awesome to have.
Tom Nook. Isabelle, I never was on the whole Isabelle train. A lot of people love Isabelle. I always thought, like, lady, get out of my town. I can run this. I don't need you.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Yeah. Then I find out that I need her. Like,
right.
I'm very abusive to Isabelle. Like, I'm like.
Yeah. I've never like when she's announced and different things, or like the Isabelle costume in Smash, or like when she was announced as a character in Mario Kart. It's not like I'm like, oh yeah, Isabelle. But I never had like a problem with her. It's always just like, oh hey, Isabelle, like whatever.
Yeah. Poor girl. She works so hard for my town.
Yeah,
I've been gone for months, and she's making sure everyone. And then she always like is so not passive aggressive, but is so humble about it. Like I come back and I'm like, sit down at my desk in my nice comfy chair, and she's just sitting at like her little wooden stool. Like, I've been doing all your paperwork for you while you've been gone on vacation. I'm just like, Can you call Wolfgang in here? I need to talk to him. And she's just like, oh, yeah, bye. And then she just does what I say, and she's so humble about it. I treat her so badly. If I could smack her, I would. And then Mario Tennis, Ultra Smash. One thing about the Mario sports games, they need to just make Mario sports. Just like they have Wii Sports and Mario Sports. They need to have no more tennis, no more soccer, no more basketball. They just need to have Mario Sports. We can do every single one.
Minus golf.
No golf like in there too.
Oh, golf in there?
Like
I like it when golf is its own title with like specially developed, like they really fine-tuned these courses.
I want them fine-tuned and everything else fine-tuned.
Right.
After playing something like Grand Theft Auto, where you can do like golf and all that, and darts
which
and
sucks.
Race and
which sucks.
But you can.
Racing is really the only thing. Of those.
But
things
I mean,
that you listed.
But they also have like an incredible story and stuff. Like if
Uh-huh.
they just focus on the sports and all that, like they could do it. It's Nintendo.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel kind of cheated. Where it's just like only one sport. I mean, and I saw the kind of funny Let's Play.
The only thing I'm
coverage
disappointed
of
about
Mario
this
Tennis.
is that it's not golf. I don't care about tennis, and also the things I used to care about tennis way back when they actually.
I want
did it
strikers
well.
back. I want soccer
Me
back.
too. Yeah.
Soccer and golf are my
That was
big
a great
ones.
game. Yeah.
Basketball maybe.
Soccer? Did they ever do a soccer one?
Yeah, dude, Strikers was legit. That's
yeah.
where Waluigi has some pretty raunchy
you're
moves.
right. You're right. I'm thinking. Yeah, that's the soccer one. The basketball one they just did for a little bit, and that one sucked.
Hoops
Or
something.
But yeah, Strikers. The soccer one was definitely really good.
Yeah, and
the food.
I mean, I watched the coverage of Kind of Funny that they had it where they went to the Nintendo headquarters and did Mario Tennis, and it looked fun, but it also looked just incredibly kind of like, I don't know. They only showed two. Like it was a very limited demo.
Well, I think it
looked
takes,
beautiful.
Well, on the 3DS one that they did, that went down to like $10 pretty quickly because it just got such everybody hated on it because they made it. I think they basically made it so you just tap basically to do. So if you're playing online with somebody, you're playing with some 5-year-old kid who's just tapping and doing perfectly. It's like frustrating. You can do it the classic way, but they just did this thing where they're making it open for everybody, for little tiny kids to get on and play tennis, and it's like
the big thing will be is if they have motion controls back. If you can pick up your old Wiimote and use that, like you could, that would make the game actually really appealing. Because I could imagine getting together with some friends and just smacking a Wiimote around. Yeah. But just button control Mario Tennis doesn't sound too appealing to me. While golf does kind of benefit from like that precise bar fills up, hit it, and, just going on the courses and aiming and stuff. Quickly moving on to some other release dates. Runbow from 13 a.m. What a clever name. 13 a.m. games will launch in North America on August 22nd. Nintendo eShop for the Wii U. For the first month after launch, anyone who downloaded the Indies home demo version will receive 15% off the regular price of the $15 game. Runbow is an up to 9-player action platformer game that includes guest characters from the Nintendo eShop's most popular indie titles like Azure, Striker, Gunvolt, Shovel Knight, Guacamelee, which is actually pretty fun, and Runner 2, Future Legend of Rhythm Alien. Runbow looks beautiful, really creative game. Would be lots of fun to get 9 players to just get that and just have fun. Mm-hmm. Just really creative platforming. Yeah. Really, really cool. And the fact that Shovel Knight's in there makes me just want to get it immediately. I love Shovel Knight. I appreciate
great price for it too.
$15, yeah. It's a nice, quick little title. Would just always be nice to just have that available on your eShop or like on your Wii menu screen. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely.
Probably a low file size too, that it won't take up too much digital space.
Yeah, very simple art design, and just the guys that made it. They were on the Kind of Funny GDC coverage to play in it with they play the whole Kind of Funny crew. I think they brought even some Patreon people in there.
Yeah,
and they did 9 people. Yeah. And it just looked fun. I always talk about those good old fashioned fun games. Splatoon, Mario Maker, just all those. Just Koppai. Oh man. Speaking of good old-fashioned fun, Disney Infinity 3.0 Edition from Disney Interactive launches August 30th at the suggested retail price of $65.99.
Wow.
So
I wonder if that comes bundled with Disney Infinity figure or anything, because it's $65. It doesn't say anything about that.
Usually I think they may come with one. I don't know. I think honestly though, I think it's just Disney and they realize that people will buy it for $65.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've always kind of wanted to get into the Disney Infinity thing, or at least get the figures, because they all like have the same art style and they just look cool, and it'd just be cool to have Aladdin stand next to Darth Vader, because now Marvel and Star Wars are all in there. It's just, that's kind of cool, but at the same time, the actual game is just so horrible. It looks like the graphics are so flat and stuff. And I've been kind of like a graphics nut this whole podcast. I'm not like that, but at the same time, like, I appreciate some effort put into it, yo. And like Disney Infinity have never had that, because once again, I think they realize people will buy it and they'll play it no matter what. Speaking of like kind of the amiibo, Disney Infinity, all that sort of thing, the Skylanders Supercharger Starter Pack for the Wii U from Activision launches September 20th at a suggested retail price of $75.99. And for the first time in Skylanders history, two of Nintendo's iconic characters, Donkey Kong and Bowser Jr. No, not Bowser Jr., he's not in there. Will guest star as playable characters and will also work with his select amiibo-compatible games with a simple twist of the character's base. The turbocharged Donkey Kong and Hammer Slam Bowser will be exclusively playable on the Wii U, Wii, and Nintendo 3DS family of systems. Wait, Wii? Why is Wii included in there? That can't be right, because there's not MVC amiibo support on the classic Wii. Unless, I wonder if Skylanders though does have like a scan-in platform for the Wii games, because I wouldn't be surprised if they still support the Wii console.
Yep.
But no, I think those look cool. Some people were complaining that they looked kind of cheap, the Skylanders version of Donkey Kong and Bowser. But I'm going to buy those eventually, somehow.
I thought they looked pretty cool, and I also thought, especially in-game, they looked awesome.
Yeah, and it's just kind of a cool approach to them. Like, Bowser had like a jacket on or something, and Donkey Kong was just like had his hair dyed or something. Like, it just wacky, cool. I wish they did that with more. Like, I hope these work out, and they do like a Mario one, Luigi one.
Yeah, definitely.
KK Slider.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they didn't do Mario.
I think they wanted like the big bulky guys like Donkey Kong and Bowser to kind of, because like the Skylanders are all like big monsters and stuff. I'm surprised like Yoshi didn't get it. Yoshi would have been a good one with like a tongue sticking out. Yeah, you like use it to whip people around and stuff or something. Speaking of, once again, kind of on the heels of the Disney Infinity thing and the Skylanders thing, Lego Dimensions Starter Pack from Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment launches September 27th at the suggested retail price of $99.99. My goodness, Lego. Additional LEGO Dimensions level, team, and fun packs will also be available on the September 27th release date at the respective suggested retail prices of $29.99, $24.99, and then $14.99. I love LEGO. I love the LEGO games. I want to collect a lot of those LEGO games and just kind of binge them one day, especially LEGO Jurassic Park, or I guess it's LEGO Jurassic World and the Star Wars LEGO games. But LEGO Dimensions, I don't know if that's hooked me yet, but I imagine that once I do get hooked on it, I'll go crazy and collect every single LEGO platform collector's thing. But at $99,
wow.
What
does it come with? What is the...
I think it's like the portal. Like every starter pack, I think, for these games includes like the near field communication portal, and then like maybe a couple characters and stuff. Although I don't know why these even come with a portal if the Wii U gamepad has a little sensor thing. I thought that was the whole point of the Wii U gamepad.
Are these multi-platform?
Maybe.
And so if you're getting it, I don't know, but still the Wii U one would have to launch without it.
Maybe you need a special portal for these games, which defeats the whole purpose. Yeah. But of the gamepad, I guess the gamepad though can use the amiibo and stuff. But oh well. Guitar Hero Live from Activision launches October 20th at the suggested retail price of $99.99. Probably because it comes with that new controller and stuff. And although I think you can use your old controllers, but probably comes with something that makes it special. And super cool game.
You were surprised it was even
coming? I was surprised that it was coming to the Wii U, just because I guess Activision is pretty friendly still with Nintendo with like Skylanders and stuff. But I was just surprised. I mean, maybe it's not too graphically intensive, and I think they've had a lot of success with Guitar Hero and Rock Band stuff on the like Wii console. I know I had Rock Band on the Wii, on the Beatles one, and so they probably have had a lot of success there, and just figured why not? Probably not too much to port it over. But I was just surprised just to see kind of like a third-party game like that of that caliber and that success and that size coming to the Wii U. But definitely a cool game, just the live action. I won't get it on the Wii U. I'll get it on PS4. And I'm still trying to decide if I want to get both Guitar Hero and Rock Band. or if I want to get just one. But I don't know. I want to lean more towards Rock Band because Rock Band has all the instruments. But I also like Guitar Hero. Oh, Guitar Hero does have that new controller. Rock Band keeps the old controller, but Guitar Hero now has the 3 frets and then 3 frets. So you do more chord structures now. That was it. That's why you need to get the new controller, and why it would be $100. But live action sequences, really cool, really fluid, beautiful. Like if you're failing, all the crowd reacts, and your guitarist looks, or your singer looks over at you like, "What are you doing?" And if you're doing good, everyone like, just because of the stage lights, like they flicker and kind of like give you like a nice sort of lens blur, lens flare effect where you kind of get dizzy for a moment, and then you look over and you're like, "Oh, everyone loves me now." And so they just have like quick cuts and fades. Really cool game. I'm excited. I won't get it for the Wii U though, because I need achievement support, which we'll talk about. We may have to wait till the next episode to talk about the achievement NX stuff. Or maybe we'll just do a whole separate discussion real quick on NX to kind of follow up with the Koppai. But real quick, moving on. Just Dance 2016, October 20th. Awesome, if you like to dance. Shovel Knight from Yacht Club Games, winner of more than 100 awards, including Mini Game of the Year accolades, is coming to the retail stores. The classically styled adventure launches on the Wii U in October in October at the suggested retail price of $25. I love Shovel Knight. I've played a little bit. I haven't beat it yet, but the fact that it's going to be retail, I may rebuy it for the PS4 on that. I have it on the Wii U already. Animal Crossing, moving on to 3DS games, Animal Crossing Happy Home Designers launches on September 25th at the suggested retail price of $39.99. Lots of cards. We talked about that last week. If you want to listen to our discussion on Happy Home Designer, go back to last week's episode of Koppai Podcast. Chibi Rebo Ziblash launches October 9th at a suggested retail price of $30. Includes an amiibo if you get it for $40. I don't care really too much about that. It looks kind of creative and clever for the platforming, but I don't really, not too invested.
The NFC reader writer just tagged at the end of the Happy Home Designer story. I just thought I'd mention that it's $20, which is a pretty surprising good price for that. I was expecting maybe $30, so $20 is, I think, a pretty reasonable price for that.
Just get a new 3DS, right, and then you have it right.
That's what I
the touchscreen. Yeah, get a new 3DS. Even though haven't been using it too much, it's just that little nub. The 3D alone is enough.
Yes.
Is enough to get it. Speaking of 3D games, The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes launches October 23rd, much quicker than I thought. The suggested retail price of $40. Don't know if I'm going to pick that up right away or if I'm just going to hold off on it. I'm not a big fan of the whole multiplayer aspect of that. I want just my Zelda adventure to be by myself. Yeah, that's kind of where I stand on that. Are you a similar area?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm gonna wait to hear what the response is, and then it would have to be like you and I basically playing from across states, like playing online. We wouldn't be in person, and
and the whole Nintendo online structure right now is not the best for a game like that to be playing online, especially where it's so puzzle based. Excuse me. The Japanese sensation Yokai Watch launches in the U.S. on November 6th at a suggested retail price of $40. I hear it's basically like the new Pokemon. I hear incredible things about it. I'm super excited to see how that goes. I'm not gonna pre-order it or get it right at launch, but we'll probably end up talking about that more later because I feel like that's gonna be a big deal.
Yeah.
And really take off in the West. Speaking of Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon launches October 20th at the suggested retail price of $40. I've always wanted to try out the Mystery Dungeon games. Maybe I'll start there. I'm not quite sure. Skylanders Superchargers, as we mentioned, or Superchargers Racing from Activision launches September 20th at the suggested retail price of $65. On the 3DS, gamers can go head-to-head with competitive multiplayer via local play or online with up to 4 players, and then the iconic Bowser and his Sky Vehicle Clown Cruiser, and then Donkey Kong's there. Is Donkey Kong available on that? I would assume he is, somewhere. But yeah, so basically Skylanders Superchargers only on the 3DS version. The Nintendo 3DS version of Shovel Knight from Yacht Club Games will also launch in stores on October. Some quick amiibo news. The 3-pack of the Mii Fighters from Super Smash Bros. Will launch on November 1st at the suggested retail price of $35. No customizable Mii Fighters. They just look like the generic ones you see on the character select screen. Mewtwo amiibo. Thank goodness that they're doing the DLC as amiibo. It makes sense, but I was also kind of wondering. Will be
Ryu!
November. Yeah.
That'd be an awesome figure.
Lucas I'm not too crazy about, but yeah, Ryu will be good. Mewtwo. And then that inevitable Skull Kid amiibo, or my Tingle one. It will launch on November 13th, so a day before your birthday. You get Mewtwo for your birthday. And then the Mega Yarn Yoshi we talked about in the amiibo news. The Falco amiibo from Super Smash Bros. Launches November 20th, all by him lonesome. And then quick 2DS news. On August 30th, the 2DS will be $100, which, brilliant quote from the popular TV show Mad Men, where one of the advertising guys says, the most effective thing in advertising ever was 99 cents. Because people see 99, they just think, oh, that's not $1, that's 99 cents. And I don't know why they ever did the 2DS at $130. No, I mean, it just makes it seem like it's more than $100, and it just puts it out of your mind. But now, a quick $100, you have a 2DS. I think that's gonna make it sell even more.
Or a doorstop if you want to use it as that.
Or as a doorstop, or if you wanna use it to shovel snow. Get it with Shovel Knight, and then
make your dinner.
Yeah. It comes with Mario Kart 7, which is a cool, for free. So it's just
yeah, that's a good deal.
That's a good deal. If you have a kid or if you have a girlfriend, I may honestly pick it up for my lady for Christmas, because I want her to play games with me, and she's really big on Mario Kart. That's the only game she plays with me so far. So the fact that it's for free on there is big news. But we're running short on time. Real quick, let's just thank the Boston Police Department. A quick shout out to them, who were alerted to several threats on social media and were able to apprehend some culprits before the Pokemon championships, the Pokemon tournament. The 2 men that were arrested were armed with several guns found in their car, along with a knife. And Fox News says that the men were doing some threats to the Pokemon event. And so, just really, poor Boston has had some huge events, lots of terrorism going on there, and just lots of uncalled for, I don't know what goes through your mind when you just think Pokemon tournament, people having fun, I'm gonna go ruin it by such dark people. But it's just so cool that was able to be prevented, and that the police department's getting the recognition for that, like that it's being acknowledged and stuff.
I thought it was really fortunate they actually were able to find out about it and take it out before it actually anybody got hurt.
I have a friend there, Pika Pastor. He has a Twitch stream. He does lots. He teaches. If you want to know how to do competitive Pokemon, that guy is more than willing to help you out and teach you how to do Pokemon competitive play. And he was there. He was Snapchatting a lot of updates and stuff about how he was there. And at the time, no one had any idea. And I just don't know what I would do if he got hurt or something. And I just know so many good people there. That just work hard to I think the competitive gaming community is just something that's very admirable, and just so fortunate that was stopped. And so
all of their winnings is for college tuition and things like that. It was crazy. I thought it was nuts to turn on the TV, and that was the main story on CNN was Pokemon attack plot foiled, and I was like, what? Pokemon is on the mainstream news right now about some major terror plot?
It's just,
wow.
What? I don't know.
I saw images of the guns, and it was like, wow.
You want to terrorize Pokemon? Team Rocket. It's at it again. Looks like we're blasting off again. Get it? Because of Team Rocket? Terrorism. Oh, man. I'm funny. Anyway, we're running out of time. We have some more news. Maybe we'll do a separate discussion. Maybe we'll do little Koppai discussions.
Yeah.
Koppai talks.
Koppai
I like
talks.
Koppai talks. That has a nice little ring to it. About the NX or something. But we're coming to an end of this Koppai Podcast, episode 2. But thank you so much for listening. We have some more stuff to talk about. We have NX, patents, and
achievements, possibly.
Achievements, no disk drive. What? Where do I put the disc? Where do I put the cartridge?
Cartridges, maybe.
Maybe they're making a comeback.
Oh.
Because that's actually a good point, though, because the 3DS has cartridges. Maybe they're going to have one universal thing. We cracked it. We have solved the NX case. So there's some stuff to talk about with that. Shantae, the genie woman, I dream about genie lady,
possibly
is the most voted for person. But then again, who's taking these polls? Who's doing these polls? I haven't voted for any polls because my vote would be for Shovel Knight. So I don't know where they're getting this information that Shantae is the most requested, but I'm certainly not requested.
Shantae was the most wanted new fighter in Super Smash Bros. With more than 2,000 votes cast, which is really not that many votes.
Yep.
The half genie hero led with more than 10% of the votes. Although some popular choices such as King K. Rool, Splatoon's Inkling, and Waluigi were not included in the ballot, mainly due to the poll organizers' belief that some characters were deconfirmed at the time, most likely due to the costumes and the
costumes don't deconfirm at all. That's baloney.
Yeah, Chrome's coming.
Chrome's coming. Chrome.
Chrome. Probably Chrome. You're probably right. Sometimes I pronounce it Chrome just because it looks that way, but you're probably right. Chrome.
I think it's Chrome.
They don't say it in the game because I've been playing Fire Emblem Awakening.
I think sometimes Robin does. Chrome.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He's never like Chrome.
Chrome. It just sounds kind of stupid to say Chrome. Like it's too obvious.
Yeah. From Tatowan.
Shut up.
Chrome man. From Tatowan.
Shut up.
Yeah.
No comments.
King
No nasty comments.
No.
Tatooine is what it is. Tatooine. I know it.
The Padawan from Tatooine.
Right.
Not. Okay. But yeah, so I guess we don't have that to talk about anymore. But yeah, lots of NX discussion. Maybe we'll do a separate video just talking solely about the NX, our NX predictions. Actually, you know what? We may have to do that because I'm going to be going back to college soon. That's another little heads up. This may be our last, or we may be able to do one more recording. But then after that, we're going to have to do Skype calls and stuff because I'm going back up to the north. Zach will be staying here, and so the Koppai Podcast will have a little bit of a change going forward. But either way, we'll continuously provide new podcast every single weekday.
Yes.
Maybe the next one, because we may not be able to do it right on with the news, maybe that'll be our dedicated NX discussion based on the news we've heard. That'd actually be pretty good. Like not like pop news or hot news, but just talking about that. Because there's lots of things there, and I've heard some thoughts and some speculations on the NX that from like respected people that I think are just plain wrong, and I want to correct them. I want to say this is what I think because I think I'm right. And so lots of stuff to talk about there. As these games come out, we have all these release dates now, so it looks like for the next each month there's several titles coming out. We're going to be able to talk about those as we play them. I just bought Splatoon. Remember how last week we talked about how it was only $30 at Kmart? I read that news story and immediately went to Kmart and they didn't have it, and I went to Walmart.
The offer's gone now too, by the way. I went up to Kmart. I don't know why I went to Kmart after you sent me that picture of their video game section, but I went there just to check, and there was no Splatoon, and then we went and I checked online, and it no longer listed at 30, and it also said it's been sold out online. So if I had gone to Walmart, it would have...
Yeah, I price matched it at Walmart. Maybe if they ever do that again, if they resurrect that sale, just go to Walmart, save your time, don't go into a Kmart.
Although it is discounted if you have Prime on Amazon, it's $50 instead of $60.
That's too bad. But yeah, I've been playing that, I've been loving it, and maybe we'll do another discussion on that in the future. That seems like it's going to be getting a lot of updates and will always be relevant. So I've been playing that and have a lot of impressions of that. Maybe I'll write a review for it and post that over on ign.com/blog/CazRisk, where I do a lot of other written content you can check out, or on twitch.tv/CazRisk, where I do all these live streams and stuff that are really getting to be good quality. We've been working hard on that. We've been at work a lot this past week to just make all of this content for you just the best. Including this podcast, which is coming to an end. So, once again, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
And we will be back next week with episode 3 of Koppai Podcast. This is the end of episode 2. We will sign off. We love you. Go... What should they go? What should we tell them to go do? Should they go play the Mario games, the classic Mario games? Go get ready. Go get ready for Super Mario Maker. Come back next week.
Go watch all the coverage on it.
Subscribe to youtube.com/CazRisk, wherever you're watching this.
Maybe one day I will start streaming as well.
Yeah, Zach maybe starts. He's been touring around with that, but next week we'll be going. All those Let's Plays will be going up, along with episode 3, along with all my written content's gonna be starting to be turned into video format. There's just so much coming.
There's so much,
and it's just the best. And so we're gonna go ahead and let you go. We've kept you way too long, but in case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and goodbye. Good night. Good night. Koppai. 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 Get it? Like goodbye. Koppai. Koppai. Koppai.
Goodbye.
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 Goodbye. Goodbye now.
Goodbye now. Oh man. Stop recording.